Hello, everybody. My name is Garduno, and I'd like to take a moment and talk to every one of you about the Texas Road Hand Award and what it means and some of the history behind it as we look at that today. The Texas Road Hand Award was created in 1973 by then State Highway Engineer Luther DeBerry, and it was an award that he had thought about, trying to recognize the civic mindedness and the champions of transportation in the public sector that have actually worked hard to champion transportation projects in their communities. And it was created back then. The name of the Road Hand Award, it kind of gets its name a little bit from the turn of the 20th century, when this country was starting to build roads across the country, and Texas specifically. If you were asked to work on a road, because that is the way that roads were built back then, this was kind of nearly even pre-contractor time frame. A lot of times the citizens of the state would be required to provide either manpower or maybe even horse and buggy power to help build some of our highways across the state of Texas. But if you were one of those people working on the roads, you were labeled as a road hand. And that was a term that was used back at the turn of the 20th century. And so Luther DeBerry, he picked up that word and ran with it and created this prestigious award. And they've been giving them out, over the years, the 52 years that we've seen this. A little bit later in time, what happened was that the distribution of these awards transferred to the Texas Good Roads Association. People like Lawrence Olson, who was heading up the Texas Good Roads Association, he and the AGC of Texas would, they would work together to try to identify those road hand winners. And so for a while, the Road Hand Award was being distributed and issued by the Texas Good Roads Associations. And then later, about 2013, 2014 or so, the Texas Good Roads Association finally just was disbanded and kind of retired at that point in time. We've just evolved away from it. So TxDOT, again, of course, took that responsibility back and have been issuing these Road Hand Awards over the years. We're very fortunate on the Ports to Plains corridor to actually have some past winners. I'll mention people like Bill Crooker, who advocated hard for the Big Spring Reliever Route, and also Milton Paxton, who also worked hard up in the Dumas area for our Ports to Plains corridor. Those are a few of our past winners that have been champions of the Ports to Plains effort. But today I want to talk to you about another person that is going to be recognized for his efforts in championing the Ports to Plains corridor through Texas, and that is Joe Kiely. And we're going to honor Joe Kiely today for just the amazing amount of time and effort that he's put into watching this corridor develop. He was a founding board member of the Ports to Plains Alliance back in 1998, and later he became a part of the Ports to Plains staff in 2004. Interesting enough, in 2004, the Texas DOT, we funded a study that looked at an implementation plan for the Ports to Plains corridor, started in 2004, and Joe Kiely was a part of that. I mean, he was very instrumental in providing good data and good information to the department to determine what projects needed to move forward up and down our Texas corridor. Joe has been involved since every bit of the things that we've been doing, including working with cities and communities on trying to help them improve things like the Big Spring Reliever Route, trying to work on the stuff up here in the Lubbock area and then even up in the Amarillo area over the years. He's gone to D.C. on behalf of the corridor here in Texas and championed issues and advocated for more highway funding in the D.C. with the D.C. trips. And Joe he's worked on interesting enough, he's been a part of 2 implementation plans. The 2004 plan that was that started out. We ran out of funding in Texas there about 2010, and so that work kind of stopped. But back in 2018, 2019, we were able to see the feasibility study for a future interstate on our Ports to Plains segment here in Texas, and Joe was very instrumental in providing data to that group that worked on that. In fact, the engineering community relied heavily upon Joe. They reached out to him a lot, and he became very much was the knowledge base for some of the data that they needed to be collected. He was just kind of like There's an old, I think there's an old cereal commercial about give it to Mike or let Mike, because Mike likes it. Well, it was about let's check with Joe, because Joe knows, and so they became very dependent upon Joe Kiely for the information that we needed upon the corridor. And now that feasibility study that was finished, he was actually then again a very instrumental part of the I-27 implementation plan. And of course, Joe's worked on the Unified Transportation Program, providing comments for our corridor. He's also, been very active in providing feedback on the TxDOT's strategic plan that includes some long-range planning efforts on our corridor. So, you start looking at Ports to Plains and the champion of everything up and down from Laredo, Eagle Pass, Del Rio, all the way up to Stratford and Dalhart. Joe Kiely has been it. And I'm just very tickled and very honored today that we're going to get a chance to celebrate this accomplishment with Joe Kiely and honor him and what he's trying to do. So I wanted to share with you the Road Hand Award and its history and why I think Joe Kiely is very deserving. And we want to celebrate Joe today. Thank you.